If you're a regular on the internet, you might recognize this guy. Slenderman is a spooky character who supposedly kidnaps children, sort of a boogeyman. Slenderman has been the subject of web series, movies, and more, which is intriguing for a figure born in such a publicly mundane fashion. Slenderman was first conceived in 2009 on the website Something Awful by user Victor Surge, in a Photoshop contest where people fabricated eerie pictures. Slenderman is explicitly fictional, existing only in the mind. I know well as you do that Slenderman isn't real, but the web series Marble Hornets still gave me the heebie-jeebies the first time I watched it as a young squidling. Marble Hornets has a scene where the main character records Slenderman haunting him outside his window, and that freaked me out for a while. Sure, Slenderman doesn't exist, but in the fictional setting, even just knowing about Slenderman puts people at risk for visitation. Since Marble Hornets introduced me to Slenderman too, I couldn't shake the feeling I was in danger, no matter how implausible. These feelings of fright were enough to make me shiver, wondering if I was watched by a supernatural entity, and enough to convince real children in the real world to commit real assault. In 2014, two 12-year-olds stabbed their friend to appease the fictional character. It only took 5 years for Slenderman to become real enough to intrude on our world. Characters like Slenderman exist on the blurry boundary between stories and our ordinary lives. Slenderman doesn't need to exist as a physical entity to exist as a mimetic idea, an image transferred from mind to mind capable of impact through us. Momo is the same. Momo was once just a sculpture by Japanese artist Keisuke Iso. Internet users were intrigued by Momo's peculiar smile, so they wrote stories about Momo texting children and driving them to suicide, again, sort of a boogeyman. Prompted by these fictional stories, Momo materialized. Several children killed themselves. Of course, Snopes says the details of these deaths are dubious. Maybe these children took their lives because real people goaded them into suicide, and there's no telling whether those people were even pretending to be Momo. But I don't know what those people look like, and in their absence, I can only see Momo's smile. Even after Keisuke Iso tossed the original Momo sculpture in the trash, the mimetic Momo lives on as a cultural icon. Momo is immortal. Momo and Slenderman became boogeymen, and we can't put those genies back in their lamps. So, let me talk about Garfield. You probably know Garfield as a fat orange cat from comic strips and cartoons and stuff. Although Garfield is perhaps as recognizable as Mickey Mouse, Jim Davis's fictional cat is a source of ire on the internet. The comic strips are lauded as repetitive, boring, and bland. Have you ever said one word so many times that it loses all meaning and sounds foreign and peculiar? Garfield, 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 Garfield. Garfield's comic is like that. The constant Mondays, lasagna, and Odie kicking is a deluge of sameness. Repetition makes us question Garfield's fundamental essence, and we respond by creating aberrations. Internet communities revel in taking the ordinary Garfield strips and mutilating them. Garfield is funnier when Garfield is removed, or a real cat, or replaced with US President James A. Garfield. These mutilations can get pretty surreal. My favorite is this hour-long video of a man in a corduroy jacket drawing broad cosmological lessons from a single 3-panel comic strip where Garfield steals John's pipe. The strip is blown up into a life-changing religious experience. These conditions surrounding Garfield were perfect to spawn the "I'm sorry, John" phenomenon. An artist called Will Burke made these unnerving images of Garfield as an abomination stalking his owner John. This catches some people off guard, but in the larger context of Garfield parodies, it's just another natural step. So many people made their own pictures, and so many people wanted to see more of them, that they made a subreddit to collect instances of Garfield morphing into an elder god, threatening to devour John's reality. And Garfield's influence is infectious. Every weekend, the I'm Sorry John subreddit allows users to post images of other popular characters, betraying their innocent source material. Sometimes these can get metaphysically curious. Garfield claims to be God, or proclaims there is no God, or there was no God until Garfield came along. Garfield escapes Mondays by acknowledging time as an illusion. Garfield makes John question the difference between his self and the rest of the universe, and the universe demands lasagna. Some members of the subreddit jokingly speak of Garfield as an eldritch deity, like Lovecraft's Cthulhu. But does it really matter that they're joking? Slenderman and Momo took kids from their parents even though they don't exist. Even if, in jest, treating Garfield as a nihilistic symbol for the underlying fabric of reality makes him such a symbol. And maybe Garfield is just the cat for the job. Lovecraft's doomed cultists worshipped Cthulhu, but I find it difficult to imagine anyone taking Garfield that seriously. Garfield's ridiculousness is self-defeating. I'm Sorry John presents jubilant nihilism. We can see the emptiness of all things, and it looks like Garfield. Garfield is a specialized tool for turning existential horror into humor. Of course, if anyone does die of Garfield-related occultism, I want to say I called it first. The more people joke about worshipping Garfield, the more likely it is someone takes it too far. So far, Garfield has proven to be an efficient sponge for soaking up dread. Will that last forever? Is Garfield really the uncorruptible basis of reality? I'm not sure. Earlier, I compared Garfield to Mickey Mouse, but Mickey wasn't an unbreachable levee. Mickey has been parodied his whole life, usually in good fun. But on YouTube, there are plenty of videos of Mickey and Minnie and other Disney characters engaged in debauchery. Here's Spider-Man knocking up Elsa, a duo so frequent that the phenomenon is called Elsagate. These surreal videos are suspiciously surreptitious. Plenty of YouTubers have delved into the deep end to uncover bizarre networks of channels hosting videos of, for example, Hitler singing nursery rhymes. The consensus is that Elsagate is an extension of such animated children's poetry. Whenever anyone watched a Finger Family video, for example, the YouTube algorithm naturally recommended more Finger Family videos. If a young squidling just let those videos play, their YouTube will become a never-ending stream of revenue for some shadowy organization. Whoever made these videos realized that showing Donald Duck sodomizing Goofy was more optimized for search engines than the Finger Family and Hitler's jumping on the bed. When Garfield is portrayed as Yog-Sothoth, I chuckle because I know the person who drew it with jovial irony. When Mickey Mouse pees on someone, I feel uneasy because I know the person who animated it to capitalize on children's curiosity. We can only hope Garfield has more integrity and makes for a kinder God. Speak of the devil, the devil. In Christian belief, God is the source of all things, including Satan. This is a big deal in Paradise Lost, in which Satan erroneously claims he made himself, putting him on the same level as God. Whether you believe in Satan or not, enough people have believed in Satan that Satan has affected the real world. If Slenderman and Momo have a combined impact of one assault and some supposed suicides, then the devil is responsible for the murder of thousands of people accused of witchcraft, for instance. The devil is the fall guy, taking the blame for humanity's mistakes. If Garfield gains enough notoriety as a nihilist elder deity, it's just a matter of time before someone takes it seriously, and who knows what the consequences will be. Maybe it will be Monday forever. Or maybe I'm thinking about it too much. That's all I do here at Thinkster. I'm having lots of fun making these videos. If you're having fun watching them, subscribe, or consider joining these squidlings and elder squids supporting me on Patreon. I promise I'm a friendly squid, not a Lovecraftian one. Cthulhu Fatagan.
When I was 18, I saw for the first time in my life a comic strip. A 3-panel comic strip that changed my being, changed who I am, made me who I am, enlightened me.